Pam, episode 3.
We are back.
We're
AI
back.
in
Onward.
action. Onward. All right. I thought maybe today we could talk about something that you've been doing a lot of lately, which I really find interesting, is you are using AI to really help position you as a thought partner, with thought leadership in your industry and beyond, and particularly around everybody should be really diving into AI. So I wanted to just dig into that a little bit. So you're not just building your business, you're building a point of view right now. And I want to just understand how you're using AI to help you shape or sharpen that point of view and then take it public.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'm trying to do two different things and kind of together at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of the business aspect of it where I want to add value to people
Mm-hmm.
in my industry, right? I've been
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
same cabling industry for 30 years. Got a lot of friends. Plus, I mean, we run a business, right? We're also trying to attract customers and stuff like that. The other side of it is I am amazed at how little people know about AI,
Mm-hmm.
like the simple stuff. AI is not from my point of view, right? Like it's not like I need to know like deep math and
Yeah.
understand it. Like it's not like
You're not a
learning. It's
coder.
not
Yeah.
training models that I'm
Yeah.
talking about, right? It's about what are the tools out there? How do I engage with it? How do I leverage it? And how do I use it? And it amazes me um, how many people I talk to that like even some people who have resisted
Mm-hmm.
it, and I think that's a whole other discussion. But the other people who know it's out there, they've tried ChatGPT, they kind of use it like Google and stuff like that, right? But there is so much more to it, and so many more possibilities, and so many more opportunities that I feel kind of like a mission on there to kind of spread the word, right? To
Mm-hmm.
exactly why we're doing this, right? We're trying to engage people to get curious and get out there and learn more. Just
Mm-hmm.
try it. And
Yeah.
the amazing thing about this is it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like in many cases free,
Yeah.
right? You can get started for free.
Yeah.
Um, when you think about that, that's like mind-boggling because it's cost billions of dollars to build these
Build
things,
it.
and you can use it for free. That's- or pay $20 a month and you can use it more.
Yeah.
It just the opportunity is just too huge to ignore. So, I do feel a bit of a mission to kind of get out there and encourage people to
Mm-hmm.
engage and use it more
Yeah.
because it's not going away. I mean, there's just no way. And that, in my mind, it's starting to go exponential, right? How fast things are progressing and new features and new tools and new models are coming out faster and faster. Um, so, you know, I think we said on the last episode or two episodes ago, you're either going to be part of the leading the charge or you're going to be behind,
Left
and you
behind.
don't want to be behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
all my
it's
friends out there and family, I'm like, come on, let's
let's
go.
go, let's go. And it's amazing how quickly you might get left behind on this one. Like, I think
Oh,
it's been to the average person a bit under the radar, but in fact,
yeah,
in various sectors of the business community, it is
yeah,
essential. And
yeah.
pretty soon for everyone, it will be essential. And I think that's
it,
interesting.
if you want to get an understanding of the pace and the scope of how fast things change, I highly recommend a podcast called Leveraging AI. I think I mentioned it a couple episodes ago. He does a weekly Isar
Hmm.
does a weekly kind of news update, right?
Yeah.
And it is unbelievable how much stuff happens in a week.
In a week.
Like he talks fast for 30 minutes of just about what happened in the week.
Yeah.
And sometimes, new models from Google are like the last thing he mentions,
Yeah.
which used to be like the
Yeah.
biggest
The
news
big
ever,
thing.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just so fast. So get on board, get curious, find the opportunities. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's part of the
Yeah.
mission. And then the other side of the business, or the other side of my thing, is from a business point of view, right? How do I provide value to customers,
Hmm.
vendors, friends, acquaintances, um, with actual information, like leveraging AI, right? So I've started writing several articles about the fiber cabling business in hyperscale data centers, which of course is related to AI. Well, not entirely, but
Hmm.
so and to do that, I do a ton of research using AI,
Yeah.
right? And what I've been trying to do is identify like one little aspect that I hear a snippet from somebody, right? And I'm like, okay, let's really dig into this thing
Hmm.
where it applies to this. So I heard about, for instance, this is getting a little technical, but I'll try and keep it top level. Is there's this new scale up, scale out architecture for installing GPUs in data center, right? And it just means there's going to be a whole lot more fiber connections instead of copper connections, right? But I dug into that and I learned so much just, literally in half an hour
Yeah.
because I said, "Hey, data centers with this." And then I try to relate it to, okay, well, how does that impact somebody like my customers, like
Hmm.
manufacturers of fiber cable assemblies? How does that impact them? And it does such a good job of pulling those different pieces together and
Yeah.
understanding the intricacies. Now you definitely have to check it, right?
Yeah.
Always check it. Um, one, one and one of my tricks for that is I'll do it in ChatGPT and I'll like tell
Yeah.
me everything and then I'll go and I'll throw it over in Claude and say, check this. Is this true?
Yeah.
And 90% of the time so far, maybe more, it's like, yeah, it's 98% true. You should check
Yeah.
this thing, right? So,
Yeah.
but then of course, I'm definitely checking also
Yeah.
manually some stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go
It's
ahead.
oh, sorry. It's interesting in terms of like checking the accuracy. I had coffee this weekend with someone on one of my boards, and she is this chief revenue officer at a new AI company, and she was talking about how she uses it and how much she has to validate. She goes, "You'd be surprised how often it's still wrong." And so I think that's important that when you talk about like how do you make sure you're cross-referencing and validating, and I've done that a bit recently. I've asked the same, put the same prompt into both ChatGPT and into Claude, and you get some general the same, but there's also always one really interesting unique thing that I take out of each one. So for me, that learning has been you actually should do it in both places,
Mhm.
not just for the accuracy, but just for the added value and the extra. Oh yeah, I really like that
Yeah.
framing. So it's interesting, and hopefully over time, you don't have to keep like checking everywhere, but it is an interesting thing to do that.
One of my things on my list of things to do is we talked about N8N last episode. I want to create a little bit of a workflow, right, where it does that for me, right?
Yeah,
I'll do the research and then it'll take the research from this AI and put it into this one and
right.
check it so that I don't have to copy and paste
Yeah.
and do all this stuff. But that's once again, that's a
Yeah,
whole other
different, whole
topic.
other topic. Another topic that that she brought up that maybe we'll do another time is she goes, I am an expert in AI, and I have a like 17-year-old daughter, and I have no idea what career path to advise her to go into that won't be upended by AI. And I thought that was so fascinating. So we
Yeah,
can talk about that yet another
yeah.
time.
One other point on validating.
Yeah,
One thing that you have to be really careful of is the currency of the
the information
information,
that
right?
we're pulling.
Because keep in mind these models are trained and they stop at a certain date,
Yeah,
right? So by default, they're just going to look at that stuff. Now, they all have the ability now to search the web and everything else, but you have to be sure sometimes to tell it,
yeah,
look, search the web for the most recent information on this
mm,
to validate what you're doing.
yeah,
Because by default, sometimes I find it doesn't necessarily do that. I
yeah,
even asked it a question about itself. I asked ChatGPT a question about itself, a feature. I forget what the feature was, but it came back with the answer. I'm like, I don't think that's right. I could have swore I heard that recently there was a release that they have this feature now. So
right.
I said, "Are you sure? Can you check the web?" And sure enough, and it comes back and tells me, "Oh, you're right."
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's wrap up. And I think, given that our whole theme here is onward and AI in action, maybe give us one or two pieces of homework that I and others should try this week.
I take something you're interested in and find a have an opinion about it, but find something that's kind of related or unrelated,
Hmm.
but could be related, and
Ah,
ask it to compare it, right? Or
oh,
or how would this work together?
yeah,
Or if you're in this situation and you're trying to achieve this, would something that we do in gardening work over here? You know what I mean? And that kind of comparison
yeah,
of two knowledge bases, I think, is very powerful, and you learn a lot.
yeah.
So give that a try. I think you'll be amazed with some of the stuff
Okay.
it comes up with.
I've got a new advisory board that I'm joining in an industry I know nothing about. That I'm going to spend my time over the next week or so diving into what I know and what that industry is all about, and like where are the connection points. I think that's really interesting. All right,
Yeah.
so I've got my action, I've got my homework, and I think your like your big theme here is that is this is this hugely vast knowledge base that you have access to basically for free, and don't just use it as a search tool, use it as a thought integrator. I think that's a really interesting framing.
Yeah, or even just get curious,
Yeah,
right? That's the key. Be curious, like really dig into it and see what it can do,
yeah,
and don't be shy.
yeah,
It's friggin' free or close to it.
yeah. Good. Okay, we've got action. All
All
right.
right,
Thank you.
all right. We'll see you on the next one.
See you next episode.
Okay.